I'm Magnay of Clout Media. I'm the house video guy. I film, edit and produce all things business video related. Those who've been in previous weeks have seen me filming and the cameras in the background because that's what I do, is video production, how you can use video in your business. And that's what we're sharing with you today. So have your pens and papers ready, take some great notes because I'm going to be going at a rate of knots. And in 10 minutes, I normally budget for 20, but I'm going to see if I can ram this through in 10 minutes. With some ideas of how you can use business video in your marketing strategy. And a lot of people think immediately, oh, video won't work in my business. I beg to differ. I say argue, but I'm just going to differ on this one. And I'll go through some ideas as to how you could use it in your business and potentially more so why you'd want to use video in your business as well. And if you've got any questions, please do wave your hands at me and also we'll jump in and take it from there. Otherwise, I'll just stampede through and try and use the most of the 10 minutes. So yeah, the business is Clout Media. I'll throw some business cards out in due course. And I'm based in Tiptree, but have cameras will travel. And I've had the pleasure of working several times with Chris as well as I can say my photographer. He's the guy I bring in if I need photography stuff because I don't do photos. I'm purely video. In the beginning of Clout, and the short version for that is I was doing multi-level marketing. Right, short story. I was doing multi-level marketing. It got really difficult. I worked out how can I make this easier, smoother, faster, more efficient, automatic to a degree. Discovered a thing about video marketing. Got more excited about video marketing. Then what's in my Forever Living business. Parked that, picked up video marketing, and now I do Clout Media. So that's a very short version about that. A bit about me personally. We home educate our two children. We've got Ellie and Aria. And we're both self-employed, my wife and I, which means we can do all cool things and go away on holiday off-peak, which is saving a fortune. It's wonderful. So I'd highly recommend it if you can. Other than that, I'm kind of easygoing. I like to have fun, high energy. Even this time of the morning, I'm actually doing all right. I was up till 12 last night, just packing and getting stuff ready because it's just ridiculous. But anyway, let's get into ideas for your video marketing. So this is a bit, I suppose you can title this, what you don't know about business, what you don't know about video in your business in 10 minutes, but I'm probably down to eight now, so I'm waffling. Right, so the two reasons why anybody does anything on YouTube, there's two E's. Anybody suggestion as to the two E's as to why people go onto YouTube for something? Easy, good answers, not the one, but keep trying, says Roy Walker. Any other suggestions?
Education.
Excellent, that's one of them. And the other reason is entertainment. So there's two reasons why anybody will go onto YouTube or to go online. They want to either be educated, they want to learn how to do something. I mean, we've all searched how to change a plug, how to do a U-bend, you know, this stuff you just don't learn in schools because you can't grade on that. It's a life skill, but you can't grade and you can't get funded off your soapbox, Luke. And so we do, yeah, you've got education and entertainment. People go onto YouTube to learn, to have fun, to see cats falling off boxes or whatever you do as the broad spectrum of entertainment is. I mean, my advice recently is a thing called Letterkenny, which is a Canadian comedy series. Really good wit, quite a good humour in there, so look it up, they're called Letterkenny, I quite like that. So video boosts conversions and sales. So now doing video, it's a secret weapon, I think, and I think it's a massively underutilised one because if you put video on your website or your social media or wherever you're going to be doing it, and Danny, of course, when he's with us, he'll be able to explain exactly where to put these for the most effect. I create the videos and then I get marketing people to do magical things with them, okay? And if you're using videos in your business, then you can build that know, like, and trust relationship that we've all known and heard about through networking. And what's important about that is that you can build these relationships with people when you haven't even met them. So they can be watching your videos in, use your imagination as to where they're watching it. But when they actually phone up to make an inquiry, they've already met you and they've already got this kind of thing in their brain saying, oh yeah, I know this person. You're the person in the video. And their brain goes, this is a safe connection. And you're that much closer to a sale. So it's a really useful tool in that capacity. The other thing as well is that it can demonstrate what you know about. In a few moments' time, we're all going to stand up individually. We're all going to stand up and do our 60 seconds about who we are, why we're really good at what we do, why we're the best at it. Here's an example of the stuff we've done. And it's all good and well telling the room, and that's why I'm filming this, and I film everyone's 10 minutes. I know I've got to finish yours. And the idea of these filmings is because you're going to take this demonstration that you've done to the room and put it online, and then other people can see and know and like and get to know that you know what you're talking about, okay? And I think it's a massive thing. When I do any sort of networking, I do offer to film it because it's such a good, useful tool. And it's great telling a room of 10, 15, 20 people what you do, but they can't tell other people as well as you can. So you're doing it to the room, you might as well film it, and everyone gets to know about it through YouTube, social media, wherever you're going to do it. Video is really good at stopping fingers scrolling. Oh, because something's moved. And there's a bit in the brain, I think it's called the limbic brain, or lizard brain, limbic something different, the lizard brain. And it goes a bit historical. So if there's something moving in caveman days, the instincts are option 1, can I eat it? Option 2, will it eat me? And option 3 is, can I breed with it? Now, that's how it was back then. Things have changed now. But that's why people... I know, but that's why people stop when they're seeing things moving around. It's a bit of moving, a bit of action. They go, oh, something's actually moving, and then they have half a split second to think of those three options. Usually it's the third one, but this is the age we live in. But that's what we're looking for. So it's a great thumb scroller and a stopper. And Google loves it. I'm not going to use the word on there, but Google really likes it a lot. And obviously YouTube got bought out by Google many years ago for X billion dollars, I think it was. And if you're using videos in your websites and they're hosted through YouTube as well, then that's a double prong attack, because Google goes, you've got our website and you've got our video on your website on your front page. I'm going to give you a little boost in the rankings. And obviously Daniel will tell you all day about all the many little tricks and hacks you can do to get that bit more on the SEO and a bit on the rankings and so forth. And again, that's where I'd bring him onto a project. But having a video, even just a short one on your website, is really worth having a think about. Videos I'd suggest on anyone's website is, if I can remember them, please remember them. The core four. So the first one is about us. So a little video about, if it's you, yourself, like me, myself and I'd share my little story, the one I did at the beginning, but a little bit longer, only about like 2 minutes if that, about who we are, where we came from. So the about us. Videos of your products, demonstrate what you do. If you've got products and services, it applies to both, have video demonstrations. People will see something being used, and I've certainly done it, we're looking at camera gear. If people can see somebody using your product, or you've got one of your spokespersons or yourself saying, okay, yeah, this is the Chris Whitty special. It's really good. It's got 17 buttons, and you're talking about the product and you're going through. It's not a sales pitch about it. It's just demonstrating here's some cool stuff it can do. Because obviously, if they're interested, then they'll go to a link in the screen, and people are intelligent. You go and give them the credit. If they can see you demonstrating something, that's going to save them a lot of time. They go, this is useful. Yes, that does what I want it to do, and they go through the buying process, or they go next into your funnel, whatever your process is. So absolutely do demonstrations of your business, your products, and your services. You might think, and if we've got time, I'll open it to the room. You might think, I can't do video for my business. Yeah, you can. You're here. You're talking about it. If you talk about it with people, you can talk about it with a camera. And you don't necessarily have to be, and I'm not shooting myself in the foot, having a big camera in the corner and doing it like that. Everyone's got smartphones. Everyone's got a 4K camera in their pocket. You don't need to do 4K, by the way. It eats everyone's bandwidth. HD is absolutely fine. Everyone's got these smartphones in their pockets. Really good quality lenses now. Really good now. I mean, Chris can attest to this. Warrenly with the expensive SLR. Well, I could do it on my iPhone. You can, but there's ways of doing it and doing it well, okay? Maybe we can have a conversation if you want to do your own thing, that's cool. And the gear you need for doing your own videos as well, it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be like a £2,000 camera. You can get your smartphone, you can get a £10 selfie stick from eBay or Amazon, whichever your choice is, with a little ring light, just to give you some soft lighting. And if you're going to look into getting those, get the ones where you can adjust the lighting. You can either get cool white, warm yellow, like these lights here, and usually brighter or darker. So you can say, right, it's a bit too intense, dial it down a little bit, there we go, and then you're nice and lit. Because there's three things in video which will ruin it. Number one is bad audio. That's why I'm wearing a lapel mic, rather than it having a really echoey sound from one end of the room where the camera's far away. The other one is good lighting. Today I'm using natural lighting, it's a nice bright day, and what's cool about today is it's overcast, and again, Chris will probably nod to this one. This is Chris Bedwell, our photographer. The overcasting, thank you, is because it's the same light throughout the day. If it's cloudy and it's bright and then it's dark, and then it's bright and it's dark, it really messes up the video, because the cameras have to always adjust, whereas if it's all constant, then lovely. And the third thing is content. I'll go on to content in a little while. If you've got stuff that's a bit boring, obviously people are going to turn off. So there's ways of taking your content or your business, even if it's a dry subject, to juice it up and make it interesting. That can be through testimonials, it can be through case studies, it could be through your stories with Wilma and Fred and Wilma a few weeks ago. Just make these examples and demonstrate, here's an example of real life stories, and you can use this content. Again, you talk about something every week or every time you go networking, these are things you can talk about to the camera. Live broadcasting, if you're feeling brave, do live broadcasts. Again, any social media loves that because it's going to get engagement, it's going to get interest. So if you are going to look about getting into live broadcasting, do think about doing that. It can be something, you can do something if it's off the hip. Oh, look, here I am on a building site, I'm going to talk you through, this happens a lot. Here's a quick fix you can do with this one. And whilst you're not giving away all your answers, you're demonstrating value. So you can sort of suggest about some ideas how to fix that thing. Maybe don't go into the exact how to, because obviously that's the service you provide and you charge for. But at least offer these suggestions. If it's a little thing, it's a £10 job, it's not worth me hassling. Here's how you do it for free, because people are there to learn and be educated by it. People do everything on smartphones now. The amount, it was 80%, now it's 95%. Everyone's saying, look, laptops are dead now. everything's happening on smartphones. So when you're filming, depending on where it's going to go on social media and which platforms, either film vertically, which I still don't like, but I need to get used to it, or traditionally the portrait style, so landscape, excuse me. You can use video marketing, videos in auto-responding. So if you send someone an email or they go into your funnel and so forth, if you've got an automation process, they can go onto a website where it's got a video view saying something like, okay, hey, thanks for joining our mailing list. You're going to be getting an email in a couple of moments' time. It's going to share with you all the information we talked about in the video. It's going to have links to your bonus pack and whatever it is. Again, you've got that touch point. You've got that content, that talking to somebody, a bit about here's what you're doing, here's what you're going to get. It's face, face, face. People buy faces, not logos. Okay, and you can use it in Facebook Messenger. You can use it on emails, anywhere as part of an automation system. I mentioned a bit earlier about explaining yourself. So explain and demonstrate what your videos are. And be different. And I think I'm going to wind it up there. There's more to do, but we're going to 10 minutes. So be different. If your customer, if your competition, whoever you deem that to be, aren't doing videos, that's not a reason to go, oh, they're not doing it, I'm fine. It's actually really good incentives. They're not doing videos, I will, and you get ahead. But if there's competition and they're not doing videos, or at least not doing them well or consistently, that is your opportunity to get in there and get ahead of the game. And again, we go back to YouTube. If you can be the answer to someone's question, rather than video one, drainage, you can answer that saying how to effectively or how to create a good drainage system or make your video the answer to someone's question. Because if they can find you, then they can make inquiries and potentially book you and you get a new client. So be the answer. I'm going to stop there because we're short of time. So any questions, please?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Have you got a particular sort of trade or profession that you're looking into, or a group of businesses that you're looking to be introduced to?
I know it's a little bit dark and not so exciting for some, but I've been recently interested in working with funeral directors. And the reason for that is because a lot of funeral directors don't do filming and or mainly, especially with the recent worldwide inconvenience, live streaming of funerals. So I can do live streaming of anything, pretty much, and I have done funerals, I've done kickboxing, I've done weddings, I've done boxing matches. You know, if it can be seen, it can be streamed, is what I say. So introductions to funeral directors would be great, but I really, especially with the summer of sport basically on us, I love introductions to sport venues and sport clubs. So maybe with your businesses, you have clients or you sponsor a sports club. If they're looking at getting live streaming with a pay-per-view as an income source for them, I can help facilitate that. And it costs less than people maybe imagine. They don't think you have to be at dizzying heights of Colin McGregor, his lesser-known cousin, Conor McGregor, and you know Sky Sports and Madison Square Garden. You know, you can have this as Duxbury Rovers down the road. You know, they've got the gear, they've got these smartphones. There's things they can do, put a pay-per-view behind it, and it's another income stream. So there's some really clever stuff you can do with it.
Thank you.
Would you say there's a maximum and minimum time that a film should last, or is it a case of the interest, obviously?
No.
Is there a time where it's too short?
No, it's a super question, yeah, about how long should a video be? It's a great question, it's one you get a lot, as one of the slides. My answer to this one is that it should only be as long as it needs to be. I mean, we've all seen videos where the guy, you want to find out a thing, he's told you about how to do it, and then they start recapping. It's like, no, I've done that now. If I want to learn it again, I'll skip back to 30 seconds and watch that bit again. So depending on your subject, if it's something that's a bit more involved or it's technically complicated or there's stats and there's figures, it's going to need to be a longer video because it has to be more accurate, it's more in depth. But if it's just a quick thing, you could probably knock it out in 92 minutes at the most. No, so 90 seconds perhaps. But again, if it's a social media thing like on Instagram Shorts, then you've got your limit of 60 seconds. So, and I've seen people get a lot of stuff across, but in a good way, annoyingly, because I love to know how to do it, in that 60-second window. So you can get, if it's a short video, you can do it in 60 seconds, but otherwise, I think 90 to 2 minutes is quite sufficient, depending on the subject, yeah.
What was it? I don't sound stupid, but you
Yeah.
said something about portrait or landscape.
Yeah.
So what's the other? What else would it?
Okay, well, typically when you're watching stuff on your phones, it's going to be sideways. It's going to be landscape mode. But in the age that we are, and everything's vertical now, everything's in vertical videos. So, for example, Instagram is designed for vertical video usage. LinkedIn is your traditional landscape mode. YouTube is landscape mode. Well, that can do both, but you have to film it the right way. But what we'll say as well, if you're going to do this, is make sure you decide which way you're going to do first. Okay, and this is a very quick version. Don't start your phone recording like this and go, oh right, and then turn it, because otherwise you've got a little skin video and everything's sideways, and that's a real cow to edit in post. It looks rubbish. So make sure, especially with phones like with smartphones, when you rotate it, things kind of all move around. So make sure everything's moved around first and go on the right axis, then start recording. Don't press the button and then go, and then begin. Because
when you do a big camera, you record one of those two ways, do you?
yeah, with a big camera, I almost always exclusively do landscape mode. But I do have tripods where if they want to do something vertical, yeah, all right, I've got a 90 degree, and then we can start recording that way. And that's their choice if they want to do it. As I said, the majority of what I do with corporate clients is typical of the landscape because it's going on websites, which is mostly landscape based. Yeah.
Super, John. Thank you very much.
All right, cool. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.